All right, I will like to call the meeting to order at 7:34 on August 9th. In terms of approval for the minutes, I think since Eric is in Florida and we're doing this over the phone, if everybody's read the minutes,
I have. Yep.
is there any comments or questions on them?
No.
Then I'd look for a vote to approve them.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion passes. Thank you. Going on to the review of expenditures. I'm sorry, I handed out the wrong page. The only expenditures for the month, I brought it up on my computer, were $111 for clerk fees for the transcription. So that's all that we spent last month.
So we're in good shape.
Pardon?
We're in good shape.
We're in good shape. Yep, we're fine.
So did you want these back?
Yeah,
You want me to shred 'em?
you can shred them or tear them up, or I'll take them back and then throw them up myself, whatever. Here. Just leave them on the table, I'll pick them up. All right? Okay. Status of the notice of violation. I had a conversation with Wade Thomas about his hydrology, and that's actually what I handed out to you. The spreadsheet, what his methodology is he went through and did an analysis from existing records of what the soil content was in the west side of the lake where most of the flooding issues happened. And it turns out it's all a fairly permeable glacial schist. That's very permeable, actually. And he then went through, and what the spreadsheet shows is that, and it's kind of hard to follow, but we took the septic records for all the people that reported being flooded and went through those, and from those he could determine, and then he went to the map, that's the map that you have there, and worked with that to develop what the elevation was of all those individual homes. And then through computations that only a hydrologist understands, he could see whether the high level of the lake would push back and cause flooding in those locations. And I think 15 out of the 24 listed locations. If you go to the next page, you'll see some that are highlighted. The numbers in the third column, I think, are bold. I'm sorry, this column. If it's bold, that number is lower than this. So let me bring it up on my computer so I can see.
I can look at it.
Well, I can bring it up. It's okay. So that determines, from that calculation, he could determine if there was likelihood that that area would be affected. And what I asked him to do, we have said in our operating manual that if the lake gets up past basically 7/10 of an inch above the above the spillway, it starts to cause pushback and water locally. You're familiar, but I don't remember your name.
Mark Santola.
Hi, Mark. Welcome.
Welcome. Small meeting.
Yeah, this.
Everyone's at the high school.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Overlay, no way.
Oh.
Humboldt Road.
Oh.
Overlay project. Discussion.
So he went through and calculated for those homes if there was, if his calculations along those lines would cause flooding. and he found that in 15 out of the 24 that it would. He's going to write that up in language that we can all understand and submit a report, a draft to me, which I will share with you. And then we would put that on to DEEP. We're, as I mentioned in the last meeting, we're still waiting for DEEP to get back to us because of the change in rules and figuring out how that's going to be implemented for the how the government regulates outflows of water from dams is going to change in 2028. And they want us to, you know, if they're going to give us a permit to do that, they want to make sure that the permit that we get is consistent with what the new law is going to be. And they haven't figured that out yet. So that's sort of where we are. It hasn't moved much past that, other than, you know, our two pieces of the puzzle that we needed to get with fisheries has been completed. We've given them the operating manual, waiting for comments on that, and now we will be giving them, probably by the end of the week, this analysis as to that, yes, in fact, a high level on the lake causes potential flooding here, and therefore the need for us to be able to regulate the lake.
So basically, this is supportive of what we feel all along.
Yes, yeah.
It's nice that they show the levels of the dam and the water surface and spillway, the upper left of, I think, page 2, and then relative to basement crawl space elevation on the right. It's just to calibrate those.
Yeah, he basically went, yes, this is his methodology, and he sort of pre-approved this methodology with DEEP before he went through it all, so that they said, yes, this is a good way to think about this. So I realize that's a lot. I just wanted to give you an idea of how they're looking at it. I think when we get it written up, it'll be much easier to understand.
So the number in bold represents the difference between which two numbers?
It represents the fact that, bear with me a second. So on the left-hand, on the far, it says estimated, on the far right, there's an estimated basement or crawl space elevation.
Yep.
And then what an interpolated, if the lake was at 7/10 above the spillway, that interpolated WSE NAVD 88 column.
Yep.
So when that number is higher than the number to the right,
Then it's bold.
because it means it's above what the elevation of the crawl space is.
I see, yeah.
So whenever that's an instance, that's an indication that there could be flooding on that basis.
It's interesting to keep in mind if there's anything else that they was useful for, or anything else that helps relative to water quality, or I don't know what that might be. Keep in mind that the data line is multiple.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that I don't have an answer to is that I don't think it means that water, and I need to have this confirmed, it doesn't mean that the lake is pushing water back up into the land. I think it means the land isn't draining down into the lake because there's basically a presence there already. Do you see what I mean?
Exactly.
So we're not flooding, so the land is saturated and can't drain, as opposed to the lake flooding in.
You know, so if you put a sand pipe, it's not like it would come out.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's not pushing up. No, exactly. That's a very good analysis, yes. So at least we're making progress, and we'll see where it goes from here. Hopefully we'll get with DEEP soon. Any other questions on that? I apologize, Janelle and Joel. My calendar got away from me. I did not get you together to do a workshop on the invasive plants. It's sort of freed up. I'm around Monday through Thursday of next week if you wanted to meet one night next week. I don't know what your schedules are like to like start that process.
Got pretty open.
Okay. Janelle, you're busier than us because we're retired.
I'm not traveling. Look, can I shoot you both a note tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'll check my work calendar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And actually, I was thinking we'd meet down at our house at 141 Shore at the end here, just because there's nobody there. So, nobody's home, so. But anyhow, yeah, shoot us when you want when it works for you. Okay.
Look at my work calendar.
All right. And in terms of the invasive plant workshop, Janelle, thanks for getting that information out to the town.
Yep, so originally I wasn't gonna do it till after this meeting, but then I was looking, and I have some business travel coming up, I'm like, let me just get it done.
Yeah.
So, I did submit the flyer to, Katie Balaka at the town. It's already posted out on the Old Line site.
Oh,
The
good.
town site, it's already out there. Martha has a reminder in her calendar to include it in her Friday message as it gets closer to the June 11th date. And then, I gave one to Tony so she could put it out at the town hall.
Right, I'll do
And then
that
the
Friday.
flyer is posted at the Old Line Town Hall now. And then, I'm gonna send it over to Dave Evers to hit up the West Shores, because they must have a distribution list.
Yeah.
They do, right?
So we do.
And then I'm gonna send it over to, all the residents in, Oak Tree Lane Beach Association.
Okay, good. Actually, we don't have an email list. We talked about it at our last meeting. We got to get that, but I think there's a website. We can post it on our website, so
Okay.
we can do that.
Okay. I'll send it to Dave and ask him to post it.
Okay.
Because I do think that, that topic would generate a lot of attendance to the meeting
Yeah.
or the program, I should say.
Actually, the secretary of the Westlake Shores Association is Liz Penfield. I'll send you her name because there's a bigger chance it'll get done if I have no idea.
Okay,
She lives down the street.
okay.
Right, it's down the street.
Then they must be related to Tommy then.
Yeah, Rose.
Okay, all right, okay.
Anyhow, I'll send you
Thank you, and I'll send it
both.
to her.
Yeah, okay.
It's set up for that, so I guess we'll just need a lot of shares, and maybe the tables here, if they have samples.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They have slides as well, right, when we went.
yeah.
I thought they had a program, right, Tony?
Yeah, they have
Slideshow?
they have a program. I don't know if it's a slideshow. I'd have to look back at the email. I know they're gonna discuss their bullet points,
Yeah.
and then have the samples of the invasive.
Yeah, I think they might have had pictures. I'm trying to remember. Well, just, yeah, when you find out, let
Oh,
us
you
know so
know,
we
they
can get.
didn't she did ask for possibly a,
I think she asked for AV equipment.
yeah,
Okay.
now that you say it.
Okay, I can see if I can get one from the town again.
The screen?
No, I actually ended up getting the screen from a rental,
Oh,
but I got the projector from the town. So, okay. Good.
And then, are we, like last time, are we having a meeting directly after the program?
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know how late that would run. What do you guys want to do?
well, if we do, it should probably be a quick one, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we
Normal one.
see how the agenda's running and we'll just make it short because I think that meeting will take a while.
I think so too.
Okay.
Because I wonder if there's anything we can do just via email, and that becomes a public meeting.
We do it by email. We gotta, we can have a Zoom meeting or something before and open it up. If we need to have a meeting, we can do it that way.
Okay.
Okay? We can call it I just went to training about 2 weeks ago, so.
Yep.
We can have an electronic meeting. We'd have to open it up and it would be a special meeting and we can only talk about the specific things that we wanted to talk about. But that's doable. If It's not hard to do. Actually, it wouldn't be a Zoom meeting, it'd be this workplace, Microsoft, what is it, Teams? Be a Teams meeting, but, yeah, we can do that.
Presentation, when we went, they had those nice booklets. And I don't know if they have more of those they can bring, or if they want, or do we pay for this, can we help fund that, or
Free.
it's free? If they can bring those booklets for people, or that's difficult, and then if they had like 3 pages that were really, really important, then those could be sent out. Make it easy for people to leave with something, helps them.
Well, I wonder if we could also post something out to the RLA site on the town, like images, if people want to go out.
If booklet is online, if that booklet is overwhelming, there's like 100 things to remember, if you don't have to do it, like 8 things to remember, and they can help guys.
Well, I think once we meet and figure out what we are at the biggest risk for,
Right.
we could post those,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
But you had a handout on our last meeting about, a particular grassy thing we were concerned was going to.
Hydrilla. Yes, yeah. So that's the main one, but if there, yeah, we could put that on the website for sure.
But they might want to advise us, if we invite their expertise to say, given what the surveys have shown, if we wanted to really emphasize for this lake beyond their grade on their own program, that might help get people tuned into, if you like all 50, that's great, memorize those. If it's
Really focus on these. Yeah, no, fair enough.
Like sandwort, milfoil,
Yeah.
hydrillo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are 2 we have, that's where we went last year and pulled out.
Yep.
Hydro, thankfully we don't have, but that's, I think it's the biggest risk.
I think that's the biggest threat.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they'll want us to focus on those 3, but we could ask their advice.
Oh, for sure.
If they don't have it, if we could send them the surveys ahead of time.
Yeah,
Because they could say, this is one you guys got, yeah, this is, so it slightly tailor it to our lake rather than,
yeah.
it's overall.
I wonder, following on what you're thinking, if we could have like a handout with a quick
Yeah.
reference to, like, these are the things we need to really pay attention to. I mean, maybe somebody would like put it on their refrigerator, or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
keep it around. The more eyes we have out looking for these things,
Yes.
the better off we are.
It helped them focus on probably the 3 that are most important, and maybe even the laminates, depending on how many people are coming and how hard it is. So if people have it in their boat.
Yeah.
And if it's in their boat with, whatever their life jackets and all that, then they can.
Tony, who's your main contact for that? Is it Summer?
Yeah, probably Summer.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I did it on my work phone, which
Okay.
I don't have with me.
I mean, I know her as well. I could reach out because I know you're busy. I could reach out to her and ask her what, pre-meeting, what she's thinking about and what we should focus on for this, or,
Can you do that? If not, I can do it. I can do it.
okay, if you could do it, that'd be
I
great.
wrote myself a note.
Okay, that'd be great.
Ask about handouts. Will they bring handouts? Possibly even 3 pages on sandwort, milfoil, and hydrilla. A pamphlet.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll
Okay,
do that tomorrow.
thank you.
Uh-huh.
Good. I think that's going to be really helpful.
I agree.
Couple of things that I should have put in under other business. The Parks and Rec got back to me. They're very pleased that that Dick's been out there addling eggs, and I guess you're going to go out again.
Oh, a few more times.
A few more times.
Did Peter go with you?
Huh?
Did Peter go with you?
Yeah. And my neighbor was outside.
Yeah. So I think that's, so that's a nice service we're providing, and it's important for the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since they didn't have the money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the commission.
Yeah. So I'm just quick on the patrol boat. I think we thought we were gonna put it in like 2 weeks before Memorial Day. Tony or Sonny offered to like help you put it in or just put it in.
I'll pick it up over there, and he can do whatever he wants,
Okay,
because he tows it around too, so
yeah,
I'll just pick it up at the yard over there, and then come
okay,
to my house and pick it up. He can work there if he wants to wash it or whatever, he can work on it there.
all right. I'll send you both an email, you guys can just coordinate. John Seifert has put together a Google Calendar so we can schedule patrols that we can get signed into, going forward. So that it'll populate so we can all know who's supposed to be out there, and when we need to substitute people, we can do that. We're still looking for one other person. Seven's responded to our Indeed job posting. I think there's one possibility. I gotta get back with them. Just quickly on water quality. We're on a calendar year basis with Yale for water quality. So they submit a report as of 24. They're doing water sampling now, but I talked to Andrew McDonald. He doesn't know if they're going to be able to continue the year. He and his wife's had a job in Albany that she's been working remotely for a while. He's going to move to Albany, and he doesn't know if he will be replaced because of the funding issues. So I asked him if we could do the samples and have Yale just analyze them for us. That we wouldn't need their presence on the lake during the summer, but we could, they could teach us how to do it. And we just basically got to run the line down,
It may not be the whole job that they do, but if we, within our abilities and budgets, we can focus on the measurements that are important year to year, and the others can kind of have a nice stable background. Maybe we do those every 5 years going forward. But
well, I think they take, I'm just thinking that if we just gave them the sample, they're going to continue to have the lab, so they could run the sample through their lab. I don't think the lab's going away. I don't know. I'm guessing that there'll be other people at the lab, and maybe they could run the samples for us. It wouldn't require Andrew coming out here with a boat and doing all of that.
So the lab would charge us for that service, I'm sure.
Right, but they're charging us now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we pay for that now.
Okay, so that wouldn't be different. And do they use special equipment to collect the sample? I mean,
It's just plastic bottles, I think.
okay.
I think they have a mechanism that it drops down, and then you pull, it drops down so that you don't get the sample until you get so many feet down.
Right, I would think, yeah.
And I don't think, so that's how special it is, but I don't think that's in a very technical piece of equipment. I think it's something on a rope that you jerk and it flips it over.
But it's more than just a soup ladle.
Yeah. But I asked, because otherwise we're going to have to go out and find somebody else to do water quality for us. And they won't have all the data that Yale has developed over the years. And our prior provider was 3 times as expensive as Yale is. So I'm hoping that.
Probably give you like GPS coordinates as to where
they go? Yeah.
Yep, perfect.
Hopefully we can supplement with the stream sample.
Yes. Yeah, I hope so. So Andrew's told me he'd get back with me, so we got some time for that to develop. He's not moving tomorrow, so it sounded like later, probably in the fall.
Good.
So we'll keep track. But they're doing sampling now, just like they have been.
I've been wondering for nitrogen and phosphorus, what we'd like to do with the streams. This is a naive question, so I'd be careful asking it of them. But if we got kits that one would use for aquariums or home ponds or that sort of thing, where you're putting drops in and holding it up to the light, would that be better than nothing? And I don't want to insult them to say, rather than your $100,000 instrument, I can get a $10 kit. But the question is, would it be better than nothing? it gave us higher spatial and temporal resolution at lower quality. Is that worth thinking about it?
Yeah,
And if so, then they can design.
okay, no, that's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, if we can do self-help to the extent we can, and get near the results, I think that's,
Yeah.
because we know those are the two things to focus on. Everything else seems to be relatively okay. Yeah, I'll ask. Okay. So that's pretty much it. The, lake events are pretty straightforward. I sent around that Long Island Sound Futures Fund. I went through, it's an 18-page proposal. I went through it briefly. The first disclaimer that came up was that grants are subject to federal funding, which is huge now. The other thing was the grants require a 50% match. That match can be somewhat in kind, but it's still something, it's not a blank check.
And that could be from any other.
Any other source, yeah. You just have to come up with the money.
You were thinking about the town.
Yeah, it could be the town, could be, yeah,
It could be in-kind work as well.
yes.
Yeah, I was reading through this thinking about what we were just talking about in terms of sampling and
Yeah,
that sort of thing. And on page 14, it has ineligible uses with grant funds. And it includes both the aquatic invasive species control, being ineligible, and then general water quality monitoring to assess conditions or to identify pollution sources. Again, is listed as ineligible. And those were the things I was thinking would be good to go for. But so if I read that correctly, then.
I think, but the flip side of that, though, it says earlier on that one of the focuses was related to nitrogen getting into the sound. So I was thinking if nitrogen nutrient prevention projects that may occur in the sound watershed. That's on page 3. It's a bullet point down. It's part of the initiative. It's broad brush initiatives, and it goes on to say later that they're focused on. That's one of their main focuses. I mean, we have to build a case, and you have to be able to show how whatever we're doing benefits the Long Island Sound, has long-term benefits for the sound. I mean, we flow into the sound, but it's we're sort of on the cusp of a problem. It's not like we have a huge nitrogen problem that's flowing in. We have one that we want to monitor and get control of. But
the way I read this, they're looking more for, you've got a big problem, how are you going to fix it, rather than we want to be.
Yeah, I sort of came to the same conclusion. So I don't know if this is something for us for now, given all those things, but I think it's something to think about, and it's, just to chew on for a bit to see if in the future, it doesn't look like an immediate fit for us.
When is the proposal due?
The 29th of May, so, I mean, it's classic. Proposals due May 29th, but you can't need the funds before October. So it's, and you can't do much on the lake after October because it's going to freeze. I don't know. I thought it was worthwhile, at least looking through. So I appreciate you reading it.
I think that's my initial read. I welcome people to disagree.
No, I think we, read through it. Something comes to mind. We can push it forward, but, I think this is an ongoing program, so it's something we can think about, and next year we can, if they're funded again, that we could, we can think about it over the next year and see if there's something that we have that fits it, because it's a definite source of funds.
Theme is thriving habitats and abundant wildlife, and foster balance and abundant populations of fish, birds, elsewhere. So we might be able to piggyback, like.
Yeah, that's true.
But what would we be spending the money for? Well, it's like if Yale is pulling back on helping out with that, and it might fill that gap.
Yeah,
They have to find a new Andrew, right?
got to find a new Andrew. I mean, the other thing is, Yale's research is more evolutionary and biology related. They're trying to understand how the fish change relative to, from being inland versus going back and forth. Yeah. I don't know if that's increasing the number of alewives, I guess, to go with your comment about abundance.
Did I say abundant?
Oh, I thought you did. Maybe not.
I've lost it now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
But I think it's something we can think about.
Yes, abundant populations of fish, birds, and wildlife that consider the LISO.
But it's talking about ineligible grants, they say research projects, but on the grant, so consider LISS research grant program as an alternative.
Okay.
Like I said,
I didn't get a chance to hit some of the other sections as well.
if our stream analysis turns out a broader learning that helps us control lake quality, and that could apply to other lakes.
Yeah.
If someone, if only the such and such a group that's polluting did something that was easy for them and helps us, that would be research and preventative.
Yeah. So that's all I have. Do you have any questions, comments?
I'm the only one here.
Do you live on the lake?
I do. I live at 70 Grassy Hill Road, Marksmantola. Just down the road from General.
Right.
No, I just read in the minutes. I haven't been to a meeting that, I see, some kind of violation that has been talked about, and, I don't
All right.
see anything, or I'm just curious of what, that violation is and where it's going. So, that's, I guess, my first.
Okay, I'll try to give you the shortest possible answer.
Okay.
For years, we've used the sluice gate on the dam to help control the level of the lake. Technically, the permit that the town has for the lake doesn't allow for that, but historically, it's just been done.
Correct.
And from Deep's point of view, they knew we were doing that, but they have sort of two tests, as long as we're not harming anything downstream or harming any plant or wildlife, then they really didn't care. They called it a water diversion. Unfortunately, last year, a couple times when we've had the gate open, the level's gotten low, and the way that the dam was configured there, before we rebuilt it, there were all these rocks down below the dam, and fish that were migrating upriver, or sometimes going out, would get caught in those rocks and die. And it happened once or twice. They told us about it. We tried to work with them to make it not happen again. Last March, we had over 12 inches of rain in the month of March. And so the gate was open a lot. And at one point it happened that a bunch of fish were coming up and the lake, we didn't get the rain we thought we were going to get. And the lake dropped down below the level of the spillway, and some fish got caught, and we killed somewhere between 50 and 100 fish. Just as to put that in perspective, 13,000 fish came upstream last year. So, you know, it's not like we killed every fish in the lake, but it was, you don't want to kill fish. So because of that, they issued a notification of violation because we were diverting water and harming the habitat. So they sent us a letter saying that they wanted us to see what we could do to fix that. We'll work with them. So to fix that, we needed a water permit, a diversion permit. And to get that, we needed to fix the dam so that if we had the sluice gate open, fish wouldn't get killed. We did that. There's a new, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a new embankment near the dam that straightened it out. So when the fish are there, either coming in or coming out, they're not going to get caught in the rocks and die. They wanted us to sort of tighten up our operating procedures on how we operate the sluice gate and give them notification. We've given them a draft of that so they understand that we're, you know, that we have a procedure in place that we think will make it so that fish won't get harmed. And the other thing they wanted was, which is when you're talking about when you walked in, is they wanted to show a need, that a high water level of the lake adversely affected the people that live, especially in this area. And so we've done a hydrology study that shows that, in fact, yes, if the lake level's high, the water table in this area rises, and it affects people's basements, crawl spaces, and potentially sewer systems or septic systems.
Yeah.
So that's how we're addressing it.
And that's in process now?
Yes, it's been in process for.
And do you have key? Who has the key?
I have the key, but I told not to touch it.
Yeah, well, actually, it hasn't rained that much. We haven't had to open the sluice gate since last September when we did the embankment change.
Well, I tell you, ever since the dam has been rebuilt, the lake is like retained its water, even in the hottest months of the summer. So I was just curious on that.
No, that's what it was. I mean, we had been talking with them over the years. I mean, it unfortunately the heading violation sounds pretty bad, but from deep fisheries point of view, they don't like you killing 100 fish, which you can understand. So, but we've been working with them. They understand the process. They understand the issues with the people that live around here, and seem to have been willing to work with us. So, but DEEP is a big bureaucratic organization, and it has a lot of different moving parts. And it takes time to get all that done.
Right. Well, I mean, I have 2 sump pumps in my basement. I have 2 alarms down there. When it rains, I stay home, for the day, because it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know.
So, okay, thank you. My next question was, with the new 2025 AIS sticker coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna be like monitoring that at the launch?
No. I mean, we might mention it to people, but technically we don't have that kind of enforcement power. If somebody's operating with a boat that doesn't have a current sticker, or a current permit, we can mention it to them, but we have no power to write them up and say, your boat's not in registration. We put it out in the news and, trying to get people aware that they need the sticker. And we've done an awareness program, but we can't afford it.
I guess my next question was like, if Rogers Lake Authority was out there, you're not gonna,
They're not gonna
look
stop you because they don't see the sticker.
Yeah.
I think that falls into harbor.
I mean, I just got my sticker the other day, I'll put it on my boat, like this and that.
Yeah,
I drop my boat once a year and take it out once a year.
yeah,
So,
me too.
all right. And then, I guess my last question was with the Old Lyme, crew, like, they're at it again with kind of going the wrong way and not, counterclockwise and, with, the bullhorns and everything like that.
So today they were going the wrong way because there was a regatta,
Well,
and that is announced.
That's announced and they have a permit.
okay.
But other than that, it's pretty unusual that they're going the wrong way. I know that yesterday it was high wind, so we went over to the west shore and kind of snuck along the west shore. So half of the time we were going against the traffic pattern. But other than that, and we definitely have guidelines we're currently writing our safety protocol, which includes traffic patterns. We have the traffic patterns posted. But thank you for your comments, and I'll reiterate to everyone that they need to follow traffic patterns. Your second comment about noise, so we do try and keep it down. I will also, I think what you're mentioning is the Coxswain speaker system. And I actually, there was one boat that left this afternoon, and I thought it was turned a little high. So I will ask them to make sure those are turned down.
Okay. And do you serve on the?
I'm a coach.
Okay. Well, I will also add, like, whether it's during the week or on the weekend, not going for breath.
Okay.
I mean, you go 4 abreast between any of those islands and this and that, you know there's a.
Yeah, I don't,
And I feel that it's just a safety hazard, not only for your folks, but for us and a lot of the other, residents on the lake. I think that, crew started at the other end of the lake in the 70s, and where has it grown now? There's no other houses that have been built on the lake, just rehabs that we've done. But with that boathouse and, the crew boats that have come here, I don't know if they've overcome their stay. So, I just find that it's, I just think that you folks have to look out for, the safety of not only you folks, but the other people on the lake.
I totally agree with you, and we try to be good neighbors.
Okay.
And we're very appreciative of using the lake. And so we sort of reiterate the themes of, we have a row quietly. I know that in the mornings, it hasn't happened yet because the older people are not really out yet. It's still too cold for them. But sometimes in the mornings, they'll sit up at the area we call Emerson's, which is the northwest corner, and they'll chat. And that has hills around it, and the water causes like an echo chamber. So we've told them, get out of there, don't sit there and talk. So we have an impetus to tell people these things, and we'll reiterate it again. So today you may have seen 3 or 4 boats abreast because they were racing from the north to the south. I provided the schedule
Yeah.
to Rogers Lake Authority.
And it's been in the schedule of the grottos are in the minutes, and those are all run through brief and then
And I
approved by us.
respect all of that. I'm just saying for, respect of, the crew, and then, respect of, the other, people that reside on the lake that might not know that. So I'm just saying, because I've seen some turmoil out there, and, I just don't want to see an accident.
No, none of us do. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anything?
No,
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, thanks very much.
I appreciate it. One day, kayaking, and a group coming up from behind me, were telling the whole air crew, watch out for kayak. I'm like, "It quickly."
Yeah.
If I just reiterate, keeping noise down, we'll just keep everybody happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
This afternoon, someone was a little excited up there.
So,
Well, it was a race,
It was a
right?
race.
It was a
Yeah,
race.
it was
I
a
mean, you
race.
gotta give a little for the race.
and so, this is the first race for some of our novices, first race ever. And, the 8 left the dock, and I was like, oh my God, that, is Coxbox. It's a little speaker that he speaks to the boat, and it was way too loud. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you. Anybody have any other comments, questions? Well, if not, I would, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second. Anybody all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.